Beast Mode Spring Fragrances for Men. Now, a lot of spring fragrances, they're meant to be pretty light and fresh, so they might not have great longevity, but I found a few of these types of fragrances that I think have pretty good longevity, at least in comparison to some of the others in this fresh category. And as always, all the fragrances that I mentioned will be available down in the Amazon associate links down in the description below. I'm going to start with, I have to mention the most popular one, get it out of the way, which is Versace Dylan Bleu. I feel like this is kind of like the staple kind of men's springtime fragrance. It's just fresh, it's clean, it's sharp, it's long-lasting and strong, and masculine. It has some bergamot, aquatic notes, metallic notes, some saffron, tonka bean, things like that. So it has the fresh, like aquatic and the citrus, and then it has the heavier tonka bean and metallic notes and spices and things like that. In general, this is just a good, reliable, affordable option. It's about $60, I believe. It lasts a long time, about 7 to 8, maybe even 9 hours sometimes. Definitely one of those fragrances you could pretty much wear anytime, anywhere. You don't have to think about it. You just want to smell good, and that's it. You wear Dylan Bleu. That's all there is to it. It's a very straightforward, simple, effective fragrance. And again, you don't have to put yourself out of your budget by buying this because it's under $100. So you do get a really good kind of bang for your buck with this one. But maybe you are not into Dylan Bleu, maybe you've tried it and you don't like it, or maybe you want something that's not quite as crazy popular as this one. Then, maybe if you want a more luxurious option, you can always try something from Creed, specifically Absolu Aventus. Now, why not regular Aventus? Why Absolu Aventus? Well, remember we're talking about the beast mode, longevity here. I find that the regular Aventus does not last very long, but Absolu Aventus lasts much longer. It's definitely more of a 7 to 8 hour, maybe even a little bit longer longevity compared to the original Aventus, which I would say is more about 5 hour longevity. So you're getting something very similar to the original Aventus, just a little bit warmer, a little bit more intense, a little bit spicier, things like that, but still very fresh, fresh enough for springtime, and warm enough for, especially early spring when it's still kind of cold. But definitely Absolu Aventus is a good luxury option if you're interested in that. You could just tell that it has this luxurious kind of aura to it. And again, the big benefit is that you don't have to keep reapplying it throughout the day. It sticks around, it's warm without being too warm, and then still maintains a certain freshness with its citrus notes. Then, maybe you're not interested in Creed fragrances, maybe you want something else. Then a good option, which I really like, is Incident Diplomatique from Javoy. I believe this is a unisex option. This is primarily a vetiver fragrance, 2 types of vetiver, Java and Haitian. It also just has some other earthy, woodsy notes thrown in, and it's very appealing for those who want a very natural smelling, warm type of fragrance. Now, this is probably less fresh than some of the others on this list. It's more about kind of this warmth of the vetiver and the earthiness of it, but it's not too heavy. It's better for early to mid-spring, when it's still kind of cold out. You want to wear something a little bit warmer. So it's a good option for that. Very long lasting. I would say about 8 hours on average. It becomes more of an intimate fragrance. The projection is not great, but the longevity is, so it's kind of balanced in an odd way, but it is very nice, especially if you like vetiver, because vetiver is really the heart of this entire fragrance, which is quite nice because it's just a unique blend of kind of woodsy and grassy and earthy and things like that. So again, a very natural smelling, warm sort of fragrance. Then, the last 2 I do not own, but I know that they're good, tried and true options for the spring. Which the next one I'm going to mention is Dior Sauvage, just because it really works. It's one of those aromatic, masculine, pink pepper, black pepper, citrusy, woodsy, musky type of fragrances. Very long lasting. This is more of a 9 to 10 hour fragrance. It's like Dylan Blue on steroids, and just spicier and more intense. And it does have a variety of spices, mainly, you know, the pink pepper, regular pepper, things like that, mixed with the citrus, and you know, it's fresh and sharp, but also somehow at the same time warm and spicy. So it's this blend of things, and again, very strong, very long lasting, really good projection. It's one of those fragrances where you only need to put on a little bit to get the desired effect, and it'll definitely spread across the room, and people will notice that you're wearing Dior Sauvage. Now, the thing about Dior Sauvage is that it's kind of a little bit oversaturated, so maybe you are not into that for that reason. So if you want an alternative, then the last one I have to mention, which is another one that I do not have, which is Bleu de Chanel, from Chanel, obviously. Bleu de Chanel, a lot of people say it's very, very similar to Dior Sauvage, but it's actually a little bit spicier, or it has different spices than Dior Sauvage. It has more ginger, nutmeg sort of thing, with some similar notes like the pink pepper and the citrus and things like that. But it's also a little bit more incensey too, so similar to Dior Sauvage, but a little bit different. So Bleu de Chanel works kind of in a similar way, where it's super long lasting, 8 to 9 hour type of fragrance, maybe even 10 sometimes. Fresh and sharp, especially in the beginning, and then as it dries down, it becomes more of a musky, slightly smoky and woodsy, spicy type of fragrance. So very versatile. It does the same thing that Dior Sauvage does, where it takes the fresh and the warm and spicy and then pushes them together to create this very intense, very masculine type of fragrance. And again, very good for the springtime, early spring, late spring, it doesn't really matter. Long lasting, tried and true, it's from Chanel, the high quality, so you can't really go wrong with it, you know. But I guess it'd be a good idea to compare Dior Sauvage to Bleu de Chanel to see which one you like better, because again, they are pretty similar with just some of these slight differences, especially in terms of the spice notes that it has. But in general, that is pretty much my list of Beast Mode spring fragrances for men. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, of course you could like and subscribe, and I make videos like these throughout the week, so stick around for those.